Hi and welcome to a new episode of the Wool Revolution podcast. My name is Helena. It's been 9 or 10 months since my last video. Let's not talk too much about that. I have been pregnant during these months, and that's the reason why I haven't been recording. My first 4 months or so of pregnancy, I barely knitted at all actually, and then sort of step by step my knitting mojo has returned, and now, even though it's middle of summer, I'm knitting quite a lot actually. So I thought this would be a good time to record, and my baby is due any day, so who knows when I'll have time to record next. So let's just do this now. I have a few things to show you actually. I have also a lot of baby knits, but I think I'm gonna separate those, and hopefully I'll be able to record another video where I just talk about all the baby knits, because I think it's gonna be too much to show in this episode. So I'll focus on the grown-up knits today. And I looked through my last video just to see where I was at and sort of what I wanted to update you on, and let's just dive straight into it. The first sweater I want to talk about is one that I have already talked a lot about in previous episodes, and it's the eurus sweater. I'm gonna see if I can show it properly. And a close-up of the texture here and the yarn. Really nice color, I think. Yeah, so this sweater is somewhat of a beast, as you can see. It's all over cables. As you may notice as well, it's knitted from one sleeve, so you start here and then you knit sideways, or I guess the sleeve, that's how you usually knit sleeves, but then when you get to the body you cast on stitches and knit sideways all across to the other side, and then you bind off, and then you finish with the other sleeve. So a really interesting construction. Definitely first time for me trying this out. I mentioned in my last video that I struggled a bit with sizing and the measurement, because obviously the way the sweater is constructed, the width of the sweater will depend on how long you actually knit the body sideways, and yeah, the numbers in the pattern didn't make sense to me. I would have ended up with a really oversized sweater if I were to follow the numbers in the pattern, so I made some adjustments to shorten the length or the width of the body. I did also reach out to the designer. The pattern is from Egeo Knit. I did reach out to them, or to her, but I never got a reply, so I'm not sure why, but that's a bit unfortunate. So I'd say that's one thing to keep in mind if you're gonna knit this pattern. If you look through the Ravelry project pages, you'll see a lot of notes on the pattern. You know, some enjoyed it, some not as much. I think it was fine. I basically only followed the charted instructions. But there are knitted instructions as well, but I can't really say anything about those. If there are errors in those, I'm not sure. The charts were fine to me. You have to do some sort of independent thinking, I suppose. So you need to be up for the challenge. I guess that's a good way to describe it, because it's a complicated pattern, essentially, but definitely worth it. Looking at the sweater, I think it's really lovely. However, it doesn't fit me perfectly. The gauge, I was off gauge because I chose a different yarn. This yarn is lamauld, I think, from camarose. I'll put it on the screen. I can't remember now. I think that's it. And my gauge is just not the same as suggested in the pattern. So I blocked it quite aggressively just to get some length. I'd say it's the length that's the main issue. It's a bit short, and because of the way the sweater is constructed, you can't really do anything about it. A normal sweater construction, you can just keep on knitting for as long as you like the body to be. But here you need to decide right away when you cast on stitches and knit sideways. I tried also to do, I think maybe my ribbing is a bit longer than in the pattern, I'm not sure, just to get a bit of extra length. So yeah, it's a little bit short and also a little bit snug, maybe here, up here. Yeah, the arm, where the arm sort of meets the body. Yeah, it could have been a bit looser there, but actually I haven't worn this now in a few months, so I can't remember exactly how it fits, and obviously with the way my body looks now, it wouldn't make sense to evaluate the fit anyway, but we'll have to see maybe this fall how it fits me. But a fun project, 6mm needles, but all over cable, so it still took some time, and really interesting construction. Yes, let's move on. I have another finished sweater. It's quite nice to only show like really big finished projects like this. And this sweater I haven't shown you at all. I haven't even talked about it, I think. And this is what it looks like. It's the cloud sweater from Petit Knit. Many of you recognize it probably. It has this, the characteristics of this pattern is this like rolled edge here, and for the cuff and the bottom rib like this. And I knit this holding two strands together. One strand of fjaere alpaca, I think, the thin alpaca lace weight thread, and I held it together with one strand of plötulopi from Eastix, which is an unspun yarn, and they created a really nice fabric and a really nice color. It's quite variegated, as you can see, I think. And I was inspired by an Instagram post. I'll see if I find it and put it here. someone who knit this exact sweater, basically. Exact same yarn and colors. I think I had to guess what colors she used, but I think I nailed it pretty well. So yeah, I kind of copied that, and very pleased with the result. And you know, it's a petite knit pattern, so no issues there, really easy to follow. I can't remember if I did any modifications, but I don't think so. It doesn't look like it now when I'm looking at it. One thing I'd say is that this pattern is the, I'm not sure if I said cloud blouse or cloud sweater now, but it's the cloud blouse. And I'm not sure if my gauge is the same as suggested in the cloud blouse pattern. It's probably more similar to the cloud sweater, but I already had the cloud blouse pattern, so that's why I used that pattern. So it could be that I maybe knit a different size to compensate for that. I'm not sure, but it doesn't matter really. I mean, this looks more like the cloud sweater, but they are basically the same pattern, just different yarn weights. And the pattern also has this really nice detail for the back shoulder seam, so you do a few rows of pearl stitches here, quite nice. So yeah, I don't think I have a lot more to say about it. On my Ravelry page I usually put details about everything I knit, sometimes more details, sometimes less, but yeah, information about yarn, needle size, those kind of things usually I put in my Ravelry project page, so you can always go there to see if there's any specific information you want about my knits. Okay, so I'm gonna show you one more finished garment that I made for me, and then I have an ongoing sweater knit that I'd like to show you, and then I have two knits for my partner, one finished and one ongoing. So very sweater heavy episode today, only sweaters basically. Yeah, this is a slipover in this beautiful light blue color, and I made this also in plötulopi by Icelandic, their unspun yarn, and I held two strands together. I can't remember the name of the shade, but yeah, a light blue color. And as always, the Icelandic yarns, they are very variegated naturally. I think the colors are just beautiful, and the fabric when you knit in plötulopi is just really lovely. Actually, I have I can show you the yarn. Yeah, so this is the yarn cake, and here you can definitely see the color variation. This is how it's knit up. And this, for this slipover or vest, I didn't follow a pattern. I just did what I usually do when I knit slipovers. Basically first casting on for the back panel straight across, and then knitting the back panel first, increasing for the underarm, and then picking up stitches on each side up here in a very seamless way, and then increasing for the round neck in this case, and casting on stitches in the middle and then increasing for the underarm here as well, and then just continuing in the round. And the ribbing is just a basic 1x1 rib, so a very simple slipover, and I don't think I did any kind of shaping here either. Sometimes I do some kind of shaping up here where I pick up stitches, just to get like a nice rounded sort of shape here for the neckline, but I'm not sure if I did that for this vest. But yeah, I think this was a very quick knit. I don't really remember much about it now, but it looks like I used large needles. So yeah, easy peasy. I'm not gonna talk more about it actually. Oh, and here's the yarn, the plötulopi I used for the previous sweater I showed. Really enjoyed working with these. Yes, okay, so I am currently knitting on a sweater from a book, or more of a booklet, pamphlet, I'm not sure what to call it, from Rauma garn, and it contains patterns for the yarn Rauma Fivel, which is a quite thick, loosely spun woolen yarn. I don't have, let's see if I have a skein. I did actually have a skein, just to show you the yarn. I'm not using this yarn for this sweater, but just to show you the Rauma Fivel. It's quite loosely spun, 100% wool, beautiful yarn, and the patterns are for that yarn. But I used different yarn to make, let me first show you the pattern. This sweater, you may have seen it before, it's called fjaere genser. It's all over colorwork, raglan construction, quite oversized, or at least it's supposed to be oversized, but mine is not going to be very oversized, I'm afraid. Which is also why I have kind of lost steam on this project a little bit, because I'm a bit unsure about the fit. But anyway, here it is. So yeah, I have chosen a green and pink color combination. The green is quite warm. It looks a bit cooler here on camera, but in reality it's more like a olive green, something like that. And a kind of baby pink as a contrast color. And I have made quite a lot of progress, as you can see. I'm currently working the sleeves before I finish the body with the ribbing, just because I'm not sure how much yarn I have available, so I want to make sure I can I want to make sure I knit the sleeves in a good length before I finish off with the ribbing here. And like I said, I'm using a different yarn. I'm using a hillesvåg yarn. What's it called? I can't remember. I'll put it on the screen, but a really nice woolly yarn. Here's the green and the pink. The pink is a bit marled almost, because it's probably colored on like a gray wool, so you get this sort of dark specks in the yarn. Quite nice. And yeah, I guess if you compare this yarn to Raumafivel, which is the yarn that the pattern is written for, I suppose, the fivel is thicker. You can actually almost see it just looking at them, and that's why my gauge is off. And I don't know, I just never measured my gauge. I just started knitting and thought it would be it would work out, but I'm doubtful now. However, I've come so far, so it's not like I'm gonna rip back or anything, so I'll just have to push through and hope for the best when I block it. It will stretch a little bit with blocking, so, and it's not like I can't wear it. It might just be a little bit snug, but it might not be that bad, actually. We'll just have to see. And I was really excited about the colors at first when I started knitting. Now I'm like maybe a little bit tired of this color combination, but maybe it's just because I'm tired of the whole project. So I think I'll be happy when it's done. Yeah, I'll be happy when it's done. And the sleeves are just so boring right now to knit. But yeah, it looks good on camera though, so. But this pattern collection, there are some really nice pattern in here that I'm excited to knit. Some of them are quite basic, which is really nice. For example, I can show you, well, this isn't a basic pattern, but a nice cabled cardigan that I would love to knit. And also this Annie sweater, a very simple, also oversized sweater with these ribbed sort of side seam. It's not a seam actually, because it's open like this on the side. Quite nice. So yeah, a lot of fun patterns in this one to knit in the future. Alright, so I have 2 more garments to show. This episode will be a bit shorter than usual because I don't have the energy to talk that much at the moment. But this sweater is a sweater I'm very happy about. I talked about it in my last episode, but I had only started at the bottom, so it wasn't very exciting at the time. But now it's finished. It's been finished since Christmas actually, so yeah, for quite some time. And here it is. It's quite large because it's not for me, it's for my partner. It was his Christmas gift last year. And you may recognize the pattern. It's the riddari pattern, a very classic, famous Icelandic sweater pattern. I've made some modifications. In the original pattern you're supposed to have a small colorwork motif here at the bottom as well, but I decided to go with just a simple 2x2 rib, and the same goes for the cuffs. So no colorwork motif here, just a 2x2 rib. So it's a bit more, the look is a bit more simple I suppose than the original pattern, but the colorwork here is exactly as written in pattern. And I used lettlopi yarn, which is also what's recommended I suppose. And the same, this is a really Eastex heavy episode. I realize a lot of Icelandic yarn in this episode, but they are just so beautiful. This color as well is just so complex. It's quite hard to capture, but it has this like green, blue, gray, yeah, a lot of different shades in it, and it's just beautiful. I think it's called the color is called something like storm something, I'm not sure. I'll put it here. But yeah, a beautiful color. And I decided to go quite neutral for the yoke. So like a beige, creamy white and the black. Quite simple. And he has worn this a lot all through winter. You can see a little bit of pilling here on the sleeves, but I haven't de-pilled this at all, so I could just easily do that. So it's ready for next season. I mean, this is the kind of sweater that will just, it gets softer the more you wear it, and yeah, it's just beautiful yarn, beautiful sweater. I really want to make one for myself sometime, maybe not at the moment, but sometime in the future I definitely want one. Maybe in a bit more, maybe more happy colors, but I think this looks really, really good. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. And finally, the last sweater, the last project I'm gonna talk about today is also for my partner, but it will be his Christmas gift for this Christmas. And I know it's only August right now, but I feel very happy to already have started with this gift, because I really want to gift him something, a knitted sweater or knitted garment for Christmas. And now with a baby on the way, I'm not sure how much time I'll have this fall to knit for him. So I'm glad to already be on my way, and now I have done basically all the complicated parts of this knit, so it should be relatively smooth sailing from here on. This year he will get a vest from me. Let's see, this is what I have so far. So it's a open vest, so like a cardigan vest, I guess, and it will have buttons in the front. It's a V-neck shape, as you may see, and it has this cable running down the front here and here, and for the rest of the body it has this 3x1 broken rib stitch. So basically every other row you have a purl bump in between, yeah, every fourth stitch essentially, and that continues on for the back. So the pattern is a free pattern that I found, but I have modified it. In the original pattern it's just simple stockinette stitch, but I did find 2 or 3 Ravelry projects that had done this this texture, and I thought it looked really, really nice, so I decided to do that. So that's, I guess, the big modification so far. I also, because the original pattern you knit each piece separately and then you sew them together, but I wanted to knit top down, so I did essentially what I talked about for this slipover. I cast on for the back, knit the back panel, picked up stitches for the front, and here I actually did some shaping. Maybe you can see a little bit, let's see. So basically what I do is the first few rows after I pick up for the front panel, I decrease stitches, just a couple of stitches every other row or so, and then I increase them again. So I get sort of like a V, a little V shape up here, and that's just to make it fit a bit nicer here on the traps on the top of the shoulder, essentially. That's the idea, at least. I don't know if it makes that much of a difference, but I think so. And now I have just joined here so that I can knit all 3 pieces at the same time, and I'll just keep on knitting the body, basically. So yeah, just the easy part left. Yeah, and the yarn I'm using is unfortunately a drops yarn. I don't usually knit with drops, I don't buy drops at least, but I did this time. For several reasons, which I'm not gonna get into now, but I just think there are a lot of other good options with, I guess, better company culture than drops, I suppose, from what I've heard about drops at least. And also I'm just a bit hesitant to it being so cheap. I'm not sure why the yarn is so cheap, but yeah. Anyway, here we are. This is Drops Nepal, and the color is a kind of beige, light beige color, which I think will look really good on him. And this is a mix of wool and alpaca, so I think, yeah, it has 35% alpaca, so it's a bit more drapey than the previous sweaters I made him, which I was a bit unsure about at first, but now that I've knit quite far, I think it's gonna look good, and it's gonna be a warm, nice vest for him. So that's all I have to talk about today, I think. Like I said, I have also a lot of baby knits that I would like to show you at some point, but it's not gonna be today. And in the future I'll probably mix adult knits and baby knits, just depending on what I'm making at the time. But yeah, stay tuned. I can't really say anything about when my next video will be uploaded, because I don't know when I'll have the time and energy and the brain capacity, but hopefully I'll be able to knit at least, so I have something to show you whenever I get back. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you hopefully soon. Goodbye!